Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are around the world. Thank you for another live session. Today, the topic will be about understanding your loneliness. I think it's important to understand our loneliness because it's one of the most strong feelings that we have that could really debilitate us. And so, even though I did, I mean, some weeks ago, I did a live session about managing your only loneliness. I wanted to do a deeper dive into this loneliness issue because I think during COVID and then after COVID, I think we all experienced a really heightened loneliness in our lives. And I think that's why I really want to do a deeper dive on this topic. So, I apologize for getting into the room a little bit late. I was in another conference call before and it went a little bit over. So I apologize for that. So again, the topic is on understanding your loneliness, doing a much deeper dive so that you can get a handle on this and you can move your life forward. And if you have any questions on this topic, then let me know on the chat and I'm happy to answer any questions. Again, this is live and it's the topic on understanding your loneliness. And let's clear the energy of the room before we get into this topic. And just relax, breathe naturally, be present in the now. Dear God, angels, spirit guides, and masters, divine creators, spirit guides, thank you so much for allowing us to open the sacred space. Thank you so much for allowing us to deep dive into the topic of understanding loneliness for the highest and best good of these beautiful viewers and these beautiful souls in this room. We're deeply grateful that you give us these powerful messages and wisdoms for all of our highest and best good and remove any low frequency energies that do not belong in this sacred space. So thank you so much for allowing this session to go off without a hitch, to flow with ease, peace, serenity, and flow. Thank you. And so it is. Namaste. Okay, everyone. Hi, Arpita. How are you? Hi, Arpita. How are you? Okay. So, when we think about loneliness, I think the first thing to do when you think about loneliness is what are the feelings that are associated with loneliness? When you feel lonely, what does that mean for you? And I would ask you to write this down. So, some of the things that I wrote down that I think is very common when we say we feel lonely is we feel like no one cares about me, no one supports me, no one honors me, no one sees me, nobody sees you, nobody acknowledges you, right? It's like you are alone in this world without anybody. And that feeling, I believe, is loneliness. I mean, and I would so, I totally, I totally relate to this because there are times when I feel lonely, even with all of the spiritual work that I do in the practice day in and day out. There's still times when I feel alone, probably less and less, and I get better as the years go by, just because I've been practicing having these feelings and coming to better terms with it because I've been practicing for a number of years. But some of you might feel debilitated by feeling lonely, like you can't do anything, you don't want to do anything, right? You feel like you have no purpose, right? When you feel lonely and you feel like there's nobody to support you, there's nobody to really be there for you, there is no feeling of purpose. And I would say the biggest emotion that I think we all feel is that we don't have love in our life. And that is the most powerful feeling of loneliness when you feel you don't have love because you're abandoned by the world, right? And love is the essential thing for all of us. Why? because we are created by the frequency of love. We are made up of love. And so when we don't feel love, we feel extremely disconnected from ourselves, right? Because that is who we are. Every part of who we are in our existence, whether in a metaphysical form or whether in a physical form, is about love. It's to experience love, right? And so when we experience love, we feel we are not lonely. So I would say that is the biggest, really, ultimately, that is the feeling I think that we all experience, is the lack of love in our life. Oh, Arpita said, in loneliness, we kind of deny our own existence. I love that. I love that. Yes, we deny our own existence. That's a very, very, very sharp thing to say. So thank you, Arpita, for that suggestion. No one sees me. I don't even see myself. And so what I would suggest with that is really to take out a journal. Writing is the most important thing, and write down what feeling lonely means to you. Arpita just wrote, I deny my own existence. Whoa, powerful statement. If you feel that nobody cares about you, then write, no one cares about me. No one supports me. No one honors me. No one sees me. No one loves me. Whatever those emotions come up, write it down. What does loneliness mean to you? How do you define it? What meaning do you give to loneliness? That's really, really important for this to really get into a deep dive of loneliness, is what do you associate with that? In your own words, write it down. Write down what it means to be lonely. And then after you've done that, you're like, wow, look at this. This is how I've defined loneliness. This is really interesting. And I want you to look at it from kind of a third eye perspective at that point. You wrote down all what it means. Look at it from a third eye perspective and say, wow, this is really interesting what I wrote about myself when I feel lonely, what meaning I give in all these different ways. Examine it, review it, sit with it, and see what that means for you. So then after you've kind of reviewed this, right, in a meaningful way, more in a third eye, kind of a third eye witness way, not giving too much judgment. Don't say it's good or bad. Take that emotion away from it. Take that judgment away from the statements that you've made. Take some judgment away from that. Because you really want to examine this from a third eye perspective. Why? Because when you can pull away your awareness and look at it from an objective way and a third eye witness, that helps you to get to more the root cause of why you feel lonely. It really does. Because sometimes when we're in it too much, when we're too much into our feelings, what happens is we get lost in our feelings. And when we get lost in our feelings, we can't examine it in a more rational way that makes sense for us and that allows us to pull ourselves away, to find solutions and manage it better. When we're too into these emotions, we're so mired in those emotions, it debilitates you. It no longer serves you because you're not able to manage and handle it in a way that pulls yourself out of it so that you can move forward your life. You could move your life forward. That's what we're trying to get. We're always trying to get you to move your life forward, right? From debilitation, from depression, to have a joyful life, to participate in life, to engage in life, to do all these things that moves your life forward, to create, to build, to expand, right? But when you're feeling lonely and you're so mired in those feelings that I just said, it's going to be hard for you to move that life forward. And that's the goal, is to move your life forward, regardless of what's happening around you or on this planet, because you can become an energetic shield to those things. While other people might be experiencing, it doesn't mean that you have to experience it. That's what this means. Just because a lot of people on this planet are experiencing doesn't mean that you have to experience it, that you can move your life forward. And when you are at a place where you're so prosperous and abundant, that means you can help those people that need the help. Oh, Corey, thank you so much for the donation. I really appreciate it. Oh, it's Core One. It's not Corey. So sorry. You're welcome. So then that's why I'm asking you to please look at those statements that you've written, what meaning you give to loneliness, write it down, and then look at it and observe it in an objective way. Then after you've done that and you've come to a more of a neutral position about the statements that you wrote, what loneliness means to you, then you can actually take step 2. The step 2 is go to each statement that you made. Like for example, statement number 1, I said, when I feel lonely, it means no one cares about me. And then you can ask, why does no one care about me? Or why do I need for other people to care about me? You want to get deeper now. Ask the why, the why, the why. Why am I bothered that nobody cares about me? Why am I bothered by that? Is it, and you want to dig deep. And so you might come up with, you know what? Maybe because I have a dependency on others. Maybe it's, I feel insecure about myself. Maybe the why, the way you answer it is, I don't feel comfortable with just by myself, right? Write down all those things as to why you have written those statements. Or if you say, no one sees me. Why does no one see yourself? Why? Why do I care that no one sees me? Is it because I don't see myself? Right? That's a valid question. Why do I care that no one sees me? Why do I care? Write that down. Answer the whys to those statements. Or another statement, no one supports me. Why? Why does that bother me? Why does it bother me that I feel like nobody supports me? So again, you want to answer that question. You want to answer the whys to those statements. Or there was one that said, Arpita said, deny my own existence. Why do I deny my own existence? Why do I do that? Why do I deny my own existence? The answer might be, it's because I don't feel unconditionally worthy. I don't feel unconditionally worthy. That might be an answer for you. Just giving an example. Because if you deny your existence, then you must not, and if I deny my existence, I would think that I would feel that I'm not unconditionally worthy. That's why I'm denying my existence, that I'm not worthy. That would be my commonsensical conclusion as to why I feel and deny my own existence. And that's a pretty powerful statement to say, I deny my own existence. It's like saying that you don't mean anything. You don't have any worth. Wow. That's a powerful statement to say about yourself, right? And so you answer the whys about those statements. Why I deny myself? Because I don't see myself with worth. And then you get really even deeper than that. Why do I not see myself with worth? Why? Why is that? What is the essence of you're not seeing yourself without worth? Is it because you were maybe rejected by your family or rejected by your parents when you were a child, when you were a baby? Did you feel rejected by, maybe maybe you feel unworthy because there's something, a trauma that created that feeling of unworth. Maybe you weren't seen by your family. Maybe you weren't seen by your friends. But the essence of that would be, why do I feel unworthy when I am the perfect image of God, my energetic blueprint? Everything comes from the perfect image of God. So by that very nature of existence, you are unconditionally worthy. And what you have done when you say you're not worthy is that you have let your that ego mind run amok. The ego mind has run amok when you say, you know what, I'm not unconditionally worthy because I'm not beautiful enough. I don't have this. I don't look like this. There's a million reasons that you could give as to why you're not unconditionally worthy. I mean, you look at society, you look at media, you look at magazines, you look at pictures of others, you see somebody else you think might have a better life. And so you think, wow, if I don't have those things in my life, or if I don't look a certain way, I'm not unconditionally worthy. I am only worthy by condition. And that's a false premise. That's absolutely false, because by the virtue of your existence as a soul first, and then as that soul has come into that physical being, you are unconditionally worthy. So what it is you want to keep going down. You want to keep asking the questions. Go deeper, go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. And you will get to the essence. You will get to a point where you're like, oh my God, I just said something that, and then you will see, because if you become more objective about what you're saying up to yourself, you'll see, wow, that's kind of crazy that I said that about myself, that I am unconditional worthy. Like, how is that even possible? That worthiness comes with a condition. Like, it almost looks ridiculous. You're almost going to laugh at yourself in a good way. You're going to smile and laugh and say, wow, I can't believe I even came to this conclusion about myself. Because my essence is unconditionally lovable. My essence is unconditionally worthy. That is the truth. That is the universal truth of who you are. And so as you keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper, and you're doing it in a way that's methodical, that's objective, where you're taking out all of these feelings, you'll start to see, wow, it's like an aha moment. Wow, I am saying these things to myself and about myself that doesn't even make sense. Okay, so Najira, hi Najira. Let's see what Najira has to say. Ironically, I used to feel lonely and miserable when in relationships in the past, but when I became single, I feel wholeness, happy, and not lonely. So I don't feel the urge or need to get a partner. You see, that's called a lot of growth. That's called a lot of growth, Najira, because if you could be alone and feel not lonely, that means you have grown and matured in a profound way. right? I mean, even you see celebrities, even people like celebrities, they go from one relationship to another relationship, and then they get divorced, and all their relationships end up in divorce. It's because they've never done this work. They've never really examined why they need somebody, why they feel lonely when somebody's not in their life. They never done this deep dive work. That's why they're repeating the same patterns over again. They keep going. One relationship doesn't work out. The second relationship doesn't work out. The third relationship doesn't work out because they haven't answered the whys to these fundamental questions. And so they just keep repeating the same patterns over and over again. You've got to answer the whys and understand who you really are, how God has really created you with unconditional worthiness and unconditional love. Okay, let's see. Let's see who else. Paulette Wars. Wow, I have been going through so many of these feelings. Yesterday was a bad day, and today this is the topic. God really knew I needed to hear this. I'm so glad, Paulette. You know, I always say everything happens in divine timing and just in synchronistic timing. I've seen it over and over in my life. So I'm glad this topic really resonates with you. And so what it is when you get down to the deep root cause of why you keep feeling lonely, and you see it in an objective way that, wow, this isn't really, I've taken my emotions out of it. I could clearly see that it's just my ego mind that's just making up these stories. And as I make up these stories, it makes me feel bad because I'm repeating these stories all over again constantly. Like I am worthy because I need to have this. I am worthy, like, what society is imposing on us. Like, I am worthy because I have this. I am worthy because I have this much money. I am worthy because I have this house. And you're going to start to see all these stories that you keep telling yourself. I am worthy because I have a husband. I am worthy because I have family. Now, nothing wrong with families. Families is a beautiful thing. Not knocking families. But what I'm saying is that you keep telling these stories in your head. And as you keep telling these stories over and over, it becomes a belief. And that's what belief system is. It's just thoughts that you repeat over and over again. That's a belief system, thoughts that you repeat over and over again. And then when you have that belief system, you feel really crappy about your life. So then you think, oh my God, I'm lonely because nobody wants me because I don't look that way. I don't have the money. I don't have the job. And therefore nobody wants to be with me. And now I'm lonely. So how about if we reversed all that? How about if we made a 180-degree turnaround? Because what it is, loneliness comes, it's really what I would say a codependency emotion. It's not an emotion coming from your true nature of absolute love that you were created by. Every cell in your body and your soul has been created by the energy of love. And so if you keep telling these stories about yourself and about your life, you're distancing yourself from who you really are. And that disconnection is going to create these feelings of loneliness, because you're so disconnected from the love that you were created with. And when you feel that love that you were created by, you feel unconditionally worthy. You feel unconditionally lovable. So it's in that disconnection because you've been telling yourself all these stories about why you are not worthy, unconditionally worthy by the virtue of your being. Whether you have $1 in the bank or $1 million in the bank, whether you have that relationship or you don't have that relationship, whether you have a big house or you don't, it doesn't matter. You are unconditionally worthy. And so once you start to understand that in a profound, deep way and feel unconditionally worthy, your energetic blueprint, your energetic signal is of that unconditional worthiness. They're like, wow, she doesn't have any money in the bank, but look at her. She's amazing. She's confident. She's beautiful in the way she is. And what happens is you draw in, you draw in, you draw in. You become a magnet for opportunities, people, relationships. And then that outer world that you are so depressed about starts to look better and better. So what it is rather than starting from the outside, we want to start from the inside. We want to reverse. We want to do it 180 degree. Flip the entire script. And get to a place where you could feel that unconditionally worthiness. Because if you feel unconditionally worthy, then you feel that unconditional love. And when you feel unconditional love, are you dependent on somebody else? No. Do you really care if, other people may or may not be in your life? Not really. Does that mean that you don't have compassion for them, or you can't have friendships, that you're blocking yourself away from, you're completely, isolating from society? No, that's not what that means. It means that if you're in my life, great. But if you're not in my life, that's okay too. You see that? Like, you don't become codependent. You don't become codependent on that society sees you a certain way. You don't become codependent that others care about you. You don't become codependent that others see you in a certain way. So when you don't no longer become codependent, you freed up that energy for explosion. It's like the most freeing thing in the world. And when you are free, the mind, body, and soul, you are powerful. And that is when people want to come into your life, because you're just vibrating at such a high level that people want, because people seek that high vibration. They're always going to seek that high vibration, right? Does any of us want to be around low vibration people? No. We only want to be around high vibration, right? That's what we seek. So as a byproduct, you're attracting those people into your life. And you have those people in your life that honor you, that support you, that care about you as a byproduct of your acknowledgement of yourself, understanding and feeling. It's not just understanding. You got to get to the point where you got to feel that you are worthy. Feel it. Because the feeling is the broadcasting of the signal, and it comes through what you think, what you keep repeating in your mind. So some of the things that you could repeat to yourself, you know what? Doesn't matter what I have. I'm unconditionally worthy. It doesn't matter what I look like. I'm unconditionally worthy. And if you feel, and if you're judging me because of that, that's your problem. That's not my problem. I am unconditionally worthy. It's not my problem. And if you start behaving in a way and going around life where you're secure about yourself and you truly feel that worthiness, everything in your life changes. Everything. Because that outer world is just a reflection of your inner world and how you see yourself. And so this is really an important exercise. Okay, let's go to some comments and questions here. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Arpita, wow. I'm glad it's resonating with you. Rosaline, thank you, Moon. I love listening to you. It makes so much sense to me. I feel really good being alone. and feel we were never really alone, as the God within us is always ever present. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is how you feel love, because love is already within you. And that's how you connect to your divinity of love. And when you connect to that divinity of love that's within you and around you, now you're never going to feel lonely. How can you feel lonely, right? If you're sitting here like, oh my God, and there's nobody around you, and you feel right now that you have so much love here, and you could feel it within you and all around you, why would you ever feel lonely? Never would you feel lonely, right? Because you're tapping into what your truth is. You're tapping into the nature of who you are, because you were created by high vibrational love energy. If that love energy did not exist, nothing in this planet, including you, would exist. So you're just returning home to your soul. You're returning home to your true nature. You're returning home to the nature of your being and existence. It's when we've disconnected from that, we've disconnected from that part of us that is true and real and beautiful. That's when we're going to feel lonely, because that's when we're going to seek the codependency of the outer world for others to acknowledge us, for others to see us in a certain way, and for others to honor us. But that's false. If you're constantly seeking outer world validation, and that validation doesn't exist from the outer world, that's a codependent relationship. That's not a synchronistic relationship. The relationship is that I am already love. That is my true nature. That's how I was created. And I can feel it right now. That relationship with yourself and understanding that about yourself and feeling that yourself frees up energy, that you are no longer codependent on those superficial external relationships. And when you have that and vibrate that high frequency, people, the right people are going to come into your life. The right people are going to come into your life. And those relationships that you have with those people will be true and authentic. It won't be superficial. It won't be fake. It will be true and authentic. That's why it's powerful. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so Najera, you had another. What if those close of us, e.g. parents, give what if those close to us, e.g. parents, give us conditional love and it makes us feel negative inside? That's a valid question. Absolutely. It's a valid question. What if the close of, if your parents are giving you unconditional, giving you, parents give us, you're saying that your parents give you unconditional love and you still feel negative on the inside? Is that what you're saying? Could you kindly clarify that, Najera? Clarify that question, because I think there's a lot of misspelling here. So you're saying your parents are giving you unconditional love and you feel negative inside. Okay. What that means is that you haven't connected to your absolute nature of your existence, which is that you're created by love. You're disconnected from that. Remember, I talked about that disconnection? And it's that feeling of disconnection from your true nature of existence that is creating that rift. And so even if other people are giving you unconditional love, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is your connection to your true nature of love existence. So think about it. If you're disconnected and somebody gives you unconditional love, it doesn't really matter, because you're not feeling it from the inside. You're not feeling your true nature. You're not feeling the true nature of who you are. So no matter what happens externally, it doesn't really matter, right? That's why it's fake. It's not real. The only thing that's real is what is going on within you, your relationship with yourself. Because anybody could say anything or do anything, but if you don't have that foundation of that healthy, absolutely healthy relationship with yourself, it doesn't matter. You know, you see models and they're so slender, and people say, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And a lot of models, when you say that to, they don't really believe that. They don't believe it. Why? Everybody's telling them they're beautiful, but they don't truly believe it. A lot of models out there, they don't believe that they're beautiful. They have such an insecure because they don't understand their true nature, and they're not connected with that true nature of love. That's why even though society says you're beautiful, they're like, right? They're still messed up mentally, emotionally, because they're still disconnected. So you've got to make that connection first. And when you make connection with yourself and other people show you unconditional love, you're grateful for it. But it doesn't matter whether they do it or not, because you're not dependent on it, right? But if they say it and they give you, you're like, wow, I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful to have these great people in my life. They show me unconditional love. But if this didn't exist, it still wouldn't matter because I'm not dependent on that. I don't have a codependency on that. My only dependencies is within here and my relationship to that divine love that I already can feel and am. So that's what it is you have to work out yourself. You have to get to a place where you feel that I'm worthy no matter what. Because that external is just external. Doesn't mean anything if it doesn't mean anything on the inside for you, right? So you have to establish that relationship within yourself first to appreciate unconditional love from your parents. So that's what it is. Our pizza, right now, I don't have any carry and also blank about actions that I need to take towards it. So first, I should start feeling unconditionally worthy. Then does the path forward will eventually appear. Yes, what happens is when you feel unconditionally worthy and you're not going to have the codependency of needing people to validate you or needing people to needing other people to validate you, right? That's the secret here, is that it doesn't matter if people validate you or not. If they do, it's just an icing on the cake. But it really doesn't matter. So when you get to a point where it doesn't matter and you're good with yourself, you're really good, that's when you draw in. That's when you can move things forward. Because you're vibrating at a higher frequency. You're vibrating. You've leveled yourself up. And you're vibrating at a high frequency. And when you vibrate at a high frequency, you become a magnet. Other people want to be around you. Other people want to be with you, right? In a healthy way, not in a codependent way. So that's the reason. That's why you want to get yourself into a place where you can already feel that. Because when you feel that and it doesn't matter whether people are validating you or not, or giving you unconditional love or not, that all works out. It all works out for you. And as a byproduct of vibrating at much a higher frequency, you're just going to attract those people that are right for you, those people that truly honor you, that people truly see you for who you are, and people who support you. It just comes as a byproduct of that. So yes, you have to get into your relationship with yourself right first and start to feel that I am unconditionally worthy and lovable, because that's your true nature. Nobody could tell me that that's not your true nature. Nobody. Because you are created by these high vibrational frequencies of love. Because if that frequency didn't exist, nothing, you wouldn't exist. The universe wouldn't exist. This planet would not exist. Our galaxies wouldn't exist. Nothing would exist. It's this high frequency that makes everything come to fruition. Okay, so I hope I was able to help you, Glenn. Najira, I meant conditional love. Like, oh, okay, you meant conditional love, like treating you based on certain condition. When I have money, they treat me well, but if I don't have money, they mistreat me. Okay. So you have to, again, you have to divorce yourself. You have to look at it in a third eye witness. Is that your problem, or is that their thing that they have to work out? Don't make it your problem. So if they treat you nice because you have something to give, that's their thing that they have to work out, right? So don't make it about you, that it's a reflection of you. You're saying that, oh, because if they can't see you with unconditional love, that means that they have their own soul's journey and path that they have to work out. And so it's not really about you, what you want to say. And it's also a reflection that they should work on themselves, right? They should work on themselves. And what your parents are showing you is a stark evidence here that, yes, can I feel unconditionally worthy when they don't treat me with unconditional worthy, right? You see how they're your greatest teacher? They actually become your greatest teacher, because if you have somebody here that doesn't treat you with unconditional love and they're your parents, what God is asking you, can you see yourself with unconditional worthiness when your parents don't treat you with unconditional worthiness? That's the test for you. They're your greatest teacher. So people and situations are always presented to us as lessons. So the lesson here is, yes, my parents treat me with conditional love, but I treat myself with unconditional love. And I don't need to change them because they're on their own soul's journey and path, and they have to figure, their soul has to figure out for themselves. But the God is showing me and presenting me with them because it's telling me, how can I have unconditional worthiness with parents like this? Yes, I can. That's the test. That's the lesson. That's the growth. That's the expansion. Okay. Very good question. Thank you so much. So make it about yourself. Don't make it about them. They're on their soul's journey. Their soul needs to work things out for themselves. So you're saying, yeah, my parents, they don't fit. And that's a big thing. If your parents, and this is where children really get messed up, is if and they grow up and they don't feel worthy, it's because the parents don't treat their kids with unconditional love. And so when the parents don't teach it as a little child, they don't treat you with unconditional love, you say to yourself, there must be something wrong with me. That's why I'm not unconditionally loved, right? You put that story in your head, and that story gets repeated 10 million times, and then it becomes a belief. And now you're broadcasting this frequency like, I'm not worthy. And then there's no external person come into your life, and you're like, wow, now I feel really lonely, right? So yes, of course, as a child, you would make that association that my parents don't love me because I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough, because if I was worthy enough, I was good, they would love me unconditionally. But the lesson here is, can you feel unconditionally worthy without their approval? That's the lesson here. So that's a beautiful question. Thank you for okay, so what we're going to do now is okay, it's almost at the top of the hour. If nobody else has any questions, I hope everyone, so just to recap, you want to first do the exercise. Step 1, write down all the feelings that you associate with loneliness, like no one cares about me, no one honors me, no one sees me, no one, so like whatever meaning you give, write that down. And then the step 2, pull your awareness back and look at those statements from an objective third eye witness. And then you could go deeper. You can ask, why does it matter that no one honors me? Why does it matter that no one sees me? Why does it matter? Why? Answer the whys. Go deep. Answer why. Why do I need to get validation? Why do I need other people to care about me? Why do I need these people in my life? Why? And then once you answer that question, you will clearly see, wow, that was everything that I told myself was not really my truth. It wasn't true. It was just fabricated thoughts that I made up, stories that I made up on my ego mind, and I repeated it 1,000 times or 1,000,000 times, and I've now have this belief about myself. And so once you have that awareness, you could start to work on that. You could do the Louise Hay mirror work, where you literally put up a mirror and say, I love you. I love you. Mantra all day. Affirm yourself. I am okay. I am good enough. I am unconditional. Get to that place where all of your cells can feel that love that you were created by, the love energy that you were created. You want to return back to that. You want to connect with that energy. And once you start connecting with that energy, you're going to feel like, oh, you know what? It doesn't matter that this parent or this person did not acknowledge me. I'm okay with it. It doesn't matter that that person didn't see me. It doesn't matter that that person didn't support me. And when you get to that point where you're in a good place about yourself and you see yourself with, that's when people come in, the right people come in. Okay. So those are the steps. Take those steps. It's a powerful exercise. Okay. So beautiful. Okay, so just to let's do a closing prayer. Just before we close, I just want to remind you of the 69 Moons herb line, Yu Ping Fang Sun Plus, which helps to support a healthy immune system, and Xiaoya Sun Plus to help focus and calm the mind. They are at shop.yinandyangliving.com. Okay, so that sounds okay. So that's beautiful. Okay, so let's do a closing prayer. Dear God, angels, spirit guides, and masters, divine creator, thank you so much for allowing us to talk about this topic of loneliness, to understand and dig real deep into why we feel lonely. What meanings do we associate with loneliness? What are the whys that we give meaning to loneliness? Please allow these beautiful souls to be guided to those answers, to get to the root cause of what it means to be lonely and why those things matter to them. So thank you so much for your continued guidance, continued wisdom, your continued protection, and most importantly, your unconditional love. And so it is. Namaste. Okay, you're welcome. Bye, everyone. Much love and blessings to all of you. Okay, much love and blessings.